I welcome all of you to today's show, and I want you to welcome someone next to you, if possible. This is the Chima podcast, and I hope you're liking it, and I hope you're subscribing to it. It is important that we get this message out there for everyone. So today we have a lot of things to talk about. This episode is titled The Demolition of the USAID. We used to call it USAID. I actually like the sound of the word USAID. And that is USAID. So today is the demolition of USAID. And let's get it started. I want us to review what has been going on in the past 3 weeks since President Trump took office, and all the revelation that has come to the surface. We will focus on DOGE and Elon Musk. And for anyone who is in denial of what is going on, I have nothing to say to you. Whether you are a Republican, whether you are a Democrat, whether you are an independent, you shouldn't be surprised, because whatever is happening right now is what President Trump has consistently spoken about. If you watch all his campaign, he's been saying that he will do what he is doing right now. So nobody should be surprised. He promised to drain the swamp and to purge the bloated federal government and its agencies. That's what he said he was going to do. He said he will shrink the government and make it more efficient. He said he was going to shut down the border and conduct mass deportation. That he will tariff other countries. And that he will baby drill and lower inflation. Those are all the things he promised during the campaign. And he also promised to set up DOGE, which is the Department of Government Efficiency, and to nominate Elon Musk to spearhead that effort. So nobody should be surprised. Nobody should be pretending that they don't know. The American people heard Trump very clearly during the campaign, and they gave him an overwhelming mandate, to the extent that the whole of the country shifted right for the first time in many, many years. So why would anyone, Democrat, Republican, Independent, pretend that they are surprised? No one should. No one should. I see Democrats conducting press conferences, and in some instances storming some government parastatals, including the Department of Education, just to cause chaos. Some press conferences were filled with lies and innuendos and fear-mongering that Elon and his team at DOGE are stealing social security numbers, or they are altering information. Those are all lies, because those information they're looking at is already set on read-only mode. And what are they doing with people's social security anyway? So I believe that if this is about people knowing the truth, everybody should come on board and welcome what is going on. Everybody should. Or is this just about power, money, and influence, and not about the people? I remember Bill Clinton tried to do something like this to question USAID. He was doing that through his Secretary of State then, but he was unsuccessful. He was. But now Trump is doing it, and we have heard a lot. Some of them are at the level of allegations, but we are still watching. We are watching. So let's talk about DOGE. Trump set up DOGE, headed by billionaire Elon Musk. And they are charged with shrinking the government, make it more efficient to serve the American people. I'm sure most of you know Elon Musk. He doesn't need introduction, but I will introduce him anyway for some people who don't know him. He's an immigrant, but he's also the richest man in the world. He's one of the best brains the world has seen. He is the pioneer, inventor of the electric vehicle. He's the owner of Tesla. He also had PayPal, but sold it. He owns Tesla Solar. He also owns SpaceX, that makes and send rockets out there. He's also the owner of X, formerly Twitter. He was a Democrat, and actually this dispensation is the first time he's voting for a Republican. He said that with his own mouth. So that is, in a nutshell, who Elon Musk is. Let's talk about USAID, or USAID. I like using the word USAID. USAID. Let's introduce it into the whole mix. It is called the United States Agency for International Development. It manages 60 missions in about 130 countries. It was set up in 1961 by President J.F. Kennedy in order to counter Russia's influence across the world and to maintain a U.S. hegemony across the globe also. You know, it serves as a front for the CIA and the State Department. So it does all those things. People say the daily works that the State Department cannot be seen as engaging. So the USAID will do those things. But it becomes tricky though. Why does USAID still exist? Some ask if it was set up to counter the Soviet Union's influence around the world. The same argument is also to be made about NATO, that was set up to counter the Warsaw Pact. But the USSR does not exist any longer. The USSR is gone. So why is USAID still in existence? Some proponents of USAID, or USAID, like I love calling it, say that it is there to help the poor, to help poor countries. However, it has a lot of critics, a lot of opponents, and a lot of people argue that USAID is there to funnel money that runs contrary to the interest of American people or American taxpayers. They say, which is true anyway, that it is run by unelected bureaucrats who have become so powerful and cannot account to anyone, and became a government unto itself. I remember watching Senator Johnny and Rand Paul lament how their investigation into USAID is being stonewalled. That the top executives won't listen to you, that they don't care. They become so powerful. So they say that the USAID has been hijacked by the far left to advance woke a liberal agenda or liberal worldview, and that most of its actions supports and advanced the ideals of the Democratic Party and of liberal elites, that it funnels money to NGOs and cronies who are affiliated to the left or that are left-leaning. So there's a lot of accusation leveled against USAID and USAID. And as we go along in the show, I will read out some of the things that DOGE has uncovered, and I am sure some of you have seen those, and the revelations are still ongoing. So USAID has been accused by its opponents of funding and destabilizing foreign countries. For instance, supporting groups in Venezuela. It has been accused of sponsoring color revolutions in Eastern Europe. like the one in Ukraine in 2016 that eventually actually started the conflict and the war as we see it in Ukraine. So those are some of the accusations that it has been sponsoring, or it has actually sponsored coups in Africa and the overthrow of governments in Africa, plotting coups. It was accused by India, I believe, of funneling money to FIF. It's an organization in Pakistan. India accuses this organization of being responsible for the 2016 Mumbai attack. And, they floated these accusations that USAID was funding an NGO in Michigan called Helping Hand or something. Helping Hand, they say. And it was this Helping Hand that also in turn now funded the fifth organization in Pakistan. So there's a lot of accusation. They also accused it in 2016 of developing an app. They call it Zunzuni in Cuba, like their own version of X. And it was through this Zunzuni, they say indoctrination and propaganda was being spewed to incite the youths to overtake their government. Then countries like Bolivia accused it of sponsoring dissidents during the time of, I believe he's no longer the president, Evo Morales. And there's a lot of accusation that has been leveled against the things that USAID does. A lot. So, President Trump came into office, appointed Elon Musk, set up DOGE, and wasted no time going after USAID and other federal agencies, including the Department of Education and the Pentagon. And in fact, as I speak now, DOGE is at the Pentagon doing audits. Billions of dollars in aid money has been frozen. Federal employees have been given buyout options or be fired before the end of today. Actually, today is Monday, the 10th of February. Some of these actions are already been challenged in the courts, and some of them already have a stay. But we'll see how that goes. So Elon plans to shrink the federal workforce to about 50% or less. Remember how he purged Twitter when he bought it? Purged the employees. There were thousands of them. He shrank it up to 25%. And some pundits were saying then that there's no way Twitter or X would survive with such a massive purge. But they were wrong. Very wrong. It did survive and is actually thriving. So this is what they plan to bring to the government. Shrink it, save billions and billions of dollars, which in turn, they would transfer to help out with the tax cut and other programs that they want to embark upon. So that's the aim, guys. That's the aim. So now, having seen all of this, I mean, all that DOGE is trying to do, the question is, can Trump and Elon succeed in dismantling this DOGE, this mighty agency? Is it possible? That's a big question. And if it is possible, what about the good work that it does in helping the so-called poor countries? What happens? The answer to the latter is simple. The State Department can easily take over that responsibility. The more difficult question is, can it be done? It's difficult to be done. The reason is because USAID was set up by an act of Congress. And since USAID has been accused of being hijacked by the left to advance the liberal world order, to advance all the things that the left want to see happen in America. For instance, to advance the climate doctrine, wokeism, DEI, transgenderism. There's a lot. So if it is true that this is what it is doing, then it becomes difficult to go through Congress to do anything because the Democrats will not allow it. And we already see that because it's in the open. They're conducting press conferences, issuing threats, visiting the Department of Education and other places, asking people to go out on the street to riot, to protest. So it is difficult to do anything in Congress regarding USAID. So what can he accomplish? He can use executive orders, of course. They can embark upon mass firing and freezes to immobilize the agency. But the big question is, can the Democratic Party rise up to join hands or to put an end to the ongoing craziness as being revealed by DOGE at USAID or at USAID? If all the politicians are for the people, I believe they will all join hands to clean up this agency. They should. Why not? And why is the mainstream media not saying anything? Why is the mainstream media not outraged by the revelation we're seeing about USAID, about USAID? Why? The corruption should make everyone upset in this country. If what has been revealed is remotely true, and the Democrats refuse to denounce these activities, maybe we'll begin to see the unraveling of the Democratic Party and the whole liberal world order and agenda, to tell you the truth. Most people have long argued, and I was watching Joe Rogan podcast the other day, and he also alluded to this fact, that as feeble as most liberal policies have been over the years, that the whole thing has been a manufactured ideologies, that they were not organic, they were manufactured. From climate change to transgenderism to wokeism to open borders, that everything has been manufactured from the lab, from the woke lab. And that this infrastructure that has been set up to torment Americans has been sustained and backed and coordinated by very powerful government agencies like USAID, and also by extension World Economic Forum and the World Bank. And as a result, all of us have been propagandized to the point that we become dizzy. The web of craziness becomes very difficult to unravel by the simple mind. And as a result, everything has been disguised as compassion to the poor. But is it really compassion for the poor? Or is it about power? Is it about influence? Is it about control? We should be able to answer those questions. Anyway, let me go through some of the things that DOGE has uncovered at USAID. And let's see if there is any dear. So DOGE has uncovered, it says $83 million to Clinton Foundation as Haiti Relief Fund. And there is the saying out there, or the notion out there, that $3 million went to some wedding, and 10 million used to buy a mansion for Chelsea Clinton. We don't know if that is true or not. These are some of the things that DOGE is putting out there. $27 million to buy gifts bags for illegal migrants. Think about it, guys. Legal migrants. 27 million. Remember in Springfield, Ohio, and some other cities, people were complaining that migrants have gift cards in thousands of dollars given to them. Some of them were buying cars with it. And we were wondering, how did they get all that money? Well, here it is. It's part of this. And this is just scratching the surface. Amazing, right? It also discovered that $43 million was given to Hamas to buy condoms in Gaza. 43 million for condom. I bet you those, if you stretch out the cartons of those condoms, it will be from New York to North Carolina or to Boston. Amazing. Now get this. It says 48 million was discovered by DOGE given to the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Remember, during the pandemic, people were already saying that the coronavirus came from the lab. Dr. Fauci, remember him? He will have none of this. The accusation then was that Obama administration had funded the coronavirus research somewhere in California, but thought it was too dangerous, and they moved it overseas to Wuhan. And scientists, a lot of them were coming on social media to say that this virus did not come from the market, like they were making us believe. It actually came from that lab, but they wanted to do everything possible to make sure that nobody there mentions that. Fauci would go to Congress repeatedly and just lie about it. But here it is, 48 million went there. That was why they were covering it up. So it will look like, or it seems like, American people funded the virus that in turn turned around to kill us in America. And recall that over 20 million people perished because of that virus. Let's proceed. It says it paid 1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia workplaces. DEI means diversity, equity, and inclusion. You know, they love it here in America. The left, though. It says 70,000 in DEI money to conduct musical production in Ireland. And then you have 47,000 donated to Colombia for transgender opera. It says transgender comic book in Peru for $32,000. And then see this, the big one. 300 million every month to facilitate illegal migration into America. So remember, we have all those caravans that come into America from Guatemala, Honduras, and then into Mexico. And people would say, oh, people just rose and begin to do it. No, they didn't just rise. They were being financed. There are NGOs that are leftist organizations. They get money from, quote unquote, USAID, or USAID finance those. They ship all those people to the border and they cross into America. They hand them gift cards. And in some cases, they said they were shipping or flying immigrants through those apps, CBT One app and all that, straight into the US. 300 million a month to facilitate that. Isn't that amazing? And then it says, DOGE discovered that 300 million was paid to Reuters, the penultimate world news agency, to produce hit pieces on conservatives and the Republicans. 300 million. And we also heard that USAID paid $10 million to Politico to subsidize their app so that people will buy their app. Maybe people in government or some other. 10 million. So that's been going on. Then it says 50 million for drag queen kids story time. $50 million for that one. 2.6 million went to BBC, they said. And then there is 300 million to grow heroin in Afghanistan. And then there's another one. 27 million to George Soros prosecution fund. And let's say it again. It's 27 million to George Soros prosecution fund. Remember, George Soros is the multi-millionaire, the billionaire who sponsors district attorneys elections for the Democrats all over the country. It is said that people like Alvin Bragg and other district attorneys were financed and put in place through the Soros Fund. And it happens here that USAID funnels money to the so-called fund, and then the fund in turn donates to those campaigns and get them elected. And once they're elected, they will continue to advance a liberal worldview of open borders and less and less tough on crime and all that. So this is what has been going on, according to DOGE. All we do, or what we will continue to do, is to keep explaining all these things to our viewers, to our listeners, so that everybody will understand what's going on. Our eyes are wide open. We will continue to watch DOGE conduct this sweeping reform to drain this swamp. And we are headed onto uncharted territories. There's a lot of court battle that will follow. So we're watching. We're waiting. Let me know what you guys think. Will they succeed in dismantling DOGE? Will they succeed in eating away all flesh from from USAID? Will they succeed? Well, if you think they will succeed, put your views in the comment section. if you think it will be difficult, like some of us suspect, because it will take an act of Congress, which I don't see happening in this environment, also put your thoughts in the comment section. And don't forget to share this podcast to your friends and your loved ones and like it. And follow me on YouTube at Lord Chima. And make sure you stay warm until I see you guys again. We understand that today there will be snow in this in the northeast and some part of the west. So stay warm, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.